Paul, McGuire, Grimes, A, B, C, Minneapolis, David, Rachel, Nicholas. Absolute honor getting to talk to all three of you. You all nailed it. It is such a great movie, and I hope that people love it. So thank you for the time today.
Awesome,
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, now there have been iconic actors playing these roles, there's fan expectations, but there's also your own needs as an actor. So why was that entry point, that quality where you said, this is how I want to play Superman, Lois, and Lex Luthor?
For me, it was when I was in the gym, I think, lifting, I was on my 20th set of whatever day I was doing and then lifting the heavy weights, and 3 months in, and I don't know, I felt this loneliness in the gym of it's just me and my mind and these weights and my trainer, Paolo, on FaceTime. And I felt like there was something to Superman in that feeling of it's kind of all up to me. The great thing about Superman is he loves having that responsibility. He loves that in some sense it's all up to him, and he feels like he has the best reason to keep going, which is his love of humanity. And for me, I had the best reason to keep going, which was I had this responsibility to play this great part.
I had the opportunity to talk to a handful of journalists to prep for the part, and I was really struck by this one fantastic investigative journalist who said that she was always bored of being a child and wondered why everybody was playing on the playground and not piercing their ears and smoking cigarettes, and that she was drawn to the intensity of the human condition. And she was fiercely competitive and cool, calm, and collected under pressure. And I just remember being really struck by her and was very inspired by her in the building of this version of Lois.
I'm not sure what the first time was, but when I first read the script, I was like, the way James writes, I really enjoyed the dark comedy and the twisted nature of Lex that he had on the page, and that was something that I just felt connected to in a way where I was like, oh, I could have fun playing that character, and that's something that I feel like as an actor, when I'm enjoying myself and having fun, even if I'm playing someone horrible and evil, it's like that translates onto screen in a way that people somehow connect or enjoy it, because it's like, oh, there's a twisted fun in there. So that was something that I initially, from reading the script, was like, oh, that's something I feel connected to.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have a really nice build in the film. I felt like there was new shades of Lex that I've never seen before, so congrats on that, too.
Thank you.
Yeah, now you guys have great chemistry in the movie together. So
Who,
David,
us?
Thank you.
I know, right?
Oh,
you and Nicholas
you
together.
No, that's okay.
So how does Rachel make you a better Clark and Superman? And Rachel, how does David make you a better Lois Lane?
I think Rachel's Lois kind of is half the picture of who my Clark and Superman was. I generally find that I don't really know who I'm playing until I'm facing my scene partner. And I was very grateful that Rachel brought so much immediately, so many questions and so many thoughts. The conversations that we had early on before we started, really before we started pre-production, before we had really got to Atlanta and begun, those conversations were the ones that made me start to feel like I knew this half of the character. And then the other half was when I came face to face, or sort of face to boot, with Nick's Lex, and got to watch what he was bringing, and we created this sort of triangle, if I dare say, the three of us that told me who my Clark and Superman were.
Love that. Rachel, what about you?
I mean, I feel exactly the same. I think very early on when we started speaking about this relationship and how we wanted to deepen and build it, we realized that it was going to work because we also have very similar approaches to the work. I think we're both really passionate people who give it our all and stand firmly behind the things that we believe in. But truly, like, getting to watch David embody this, as you keep saying, this sort of third character that's in the movie, which is the Clark who was raised by Ma and Pa Kent on the farm. I saw colors of this character that I couldn't have imagined when I was reading the script at home alone, and it was just, we had so much fun, and I feel like those first 2 days we spent doing that extended interview scene built a foundation under us in this relationship that carried through the rest of the film.
It totally shows. I'm getting the wrap. Thank you for the time today. Love the movie. Hope everyone else does too. So thank you.
Thank you so
very
much.
McGuire, Grimes, A, B, C, Minneapolis, Skylar, Wendell, Michaela. It was really great talking to all three of you. I really enjoyed the movie, so congratulations and fantastic job.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, now Skylar, I want to start with you. Describe getting that call that you're going to be Jimmy Olsen. What goes through your head? Who do you call with that news?
I think I told you guys this story, but
You need to tell it
I
again.
thought
I was under the impression that I was auditioning for Superman. And because with stuff like this, where it's like you're auditioning for a big superhero movie, it's all very confidential. They don't always send you all the information. And I kind of scan the emails sometimes when I get the auditions. And I just, for whatever reason, was like, man, like, I don't see it myself, but Gunn's always thinking outside the box. Maybe he's thinking it's more of an everyman kind of Superman sort of vibe. And so I sent in a tape thinking it was for Superman. And then my agent called me and he was like, they really liked it, man. I think they're going to want you to come in. I called my parents. I was like, I think they're liking me for Superman, believe it or not. Like, I know it seems like not the obvious choice, but I don't know, man. I guess it's happening. And then I went, and then at some point, I called my reps again before I went in person. And I was like, and it's for Superman, right? And the line kind of went quiet. And then one of them was like, no, man, why would it be for Superman? I was like, I don't know either. I don't get that. So then I went in and so when I got it, I had forgotten to tell my parents it wasn't for Super. So I called them and I was like, guys, and they were freaking out. And then I was like, oh no, not for. It's for Jimmy Olsen. I'm Superman's like pal. And then it kind of went quiet. And it did. They were like, "Oh, also good, also awesome." But there was a second where they're like, "Oh, so okay, not Superman." But no, it was obviously that call is it's the beginning of a magic carpet ride. It is the most exciting call in the world, and it's totally surreal. And yeah, it's as an actor, you're lucky if you get a call like that once in your entire life.
Right, and that just is a phenomenal story about, and like what a lot of actors go through. Like, you don't always know. Wendell, you've had such an amazing career, and you just did Death of a Salesman on Broadway,
Yes.
and now you're doing Superman, two big pieces of just Americana iconic culture. What does that mean to you to have that as part of your legacy?
Oh, well, I've always wanted to just be a working actor. And to have an eclectic career, to build a body of work where you can look at the pendulum going from one thing to the other, from stage to film to television. I feel very blessed, very blessed that I can be in all of those sort of things. That's what we always wish for. And so to build up that body of work where it has a Death of a Salesman and a Superman on the same page, it's a real blessing.
Absolutely, and three very different mediums of acting and storytelling.
Oh, yeah. I try to do theater, film, and television, the trifecta, I call it.
Yeah.
One of each within the year, because it exercises different muscles and acting muscles, and it gives you an opportunity to build a body of work that's eclectic and diverse and interesting and.
Yeah, we love Elsbeth in our home. It's a
Oh,
fantastic
thank
show.
you.
So yeah, congrats on
cool.
that too. Michaela, describe James Gunn as a director and collaborator. What does he bring to the table for you?
He is one of the most magnetic human beings I've ever met. He is a leader. He is one of the best storytellers of our generation, and just the kindest, funniest. He's a lovely soul.
That's so great.
Yeah.
I'm curious about all your takes on this. I'm going to start with you, Wendell. How do you think we can tap into our own inner Superman in everyday life?
Exercise your right of self-determination. You have it within your power to not only change your life, but someone else's life, and change the world. So exercise your right of self-determination.
Ooh, that's deep. Skylar, try to top that. What are your thoughts?
I do wish you'd come to me first. I think, at its core, I feel like the movie is always exploring Superman is about like what it means to be good, what it means to be a good person, and such a big part of the story is just like the constant examination of if you're doing the best you can and how you could be better, and that would be the God, that was not nearly as good as I tried, man.
It's great. It was great.
Something like that.
Yep, something
Cut it
like
together real nice. Put mine first, and then his. And then let's see how Michaela does, and then see where we slot.
I would say I hope the message is that we're all in this life together instead of, we're fighting so much right now against each other, and it's like, no, guys, this is all of our first time living, and we should all come together and know that we're all on the same team, and we all want the same thing, which is to, be loved and love and feel safe and feel seen, and just to all work together to get that going.
Absolutely. I think we all want to feel seen.
Yes.
Yeah. Does being part of the Daily Planet change your perspective on the role of journalists in society?
It just reinforced what I knew was at issue right now, how newspapers are struggling to make sure that they are still significant, that they are heard, that they can be seen, that it's a fast-paced world of just content, which feels sometimes like throwing spaghetti against the wall and seeing what sticks, and understanding that it is a wonderful craft, and people need to understand that they need to be students of their craft and be principled, and that is the thing that will make sure that you are put out there and can be seen and be heard. Be a student of your craft so that, your excellence will be the rising tide. And so to have trust in that is the thing that's going to save print newspapers to be the best in their craft.
This is a good way to end it. Strong words from Wendell Pierce. So thank you for the time today. I appreciate it. I hope everyone enjoys the movie as much as I did, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much.
Hi.
Hi. Paul, McGuire, Grimes, A, B, C, Minneapolis, Anthony, Isabella, Eddie. It is really great talking to all three of you. You all nailed this movie. It is fantastic. So thank you for the time today. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, now I would love to someday wear like an official superhero suit. So take me back to putting on your costume for the first time, because it's so important. And how does that inform your choices as the actor once you put on the costume for the first time?
I mean, it's everything. You know, once you're in your full look, then the real fun begins. You know, it's instantaneous. You know, all of us remember the moment we saw David walk out for the first time, and it's undeniable. That's Superman. He's setting the tone for what we're doing here. And then when you look at yourself, you go, okay, I'm a part of this.
You go, wow, I'm skinny. Wow.
You do another rep.
Barely pick up my purse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when it's such a drastic transformation, obviously, just the difference between going into the trailer as me and then coming out, and honestly, just having people look at me and their eyes just like bulging out of their heads, like, what? What is this creature that I'm looking at? I mean, it's very cool. It feels, it's epic. Yeah.
I love seeing you too. I loved seeing you because I spent so much time with your character in the DC webpage, reading all of the times in which we show up together.
Yeah,
so I felt
absolutely.
like I was invested in what they were going to do with you.
Oh,
When I
for
saw you,
sure.
I said, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I knew you were great casting for it, though. Like, but I guess I just have a question, too, if that's okay.
Yeah.
When people looked at you, do you feel like they were looking at you more as in wonder or in fear?
Like a little bit of both.
Yep.
It was a little bit of both. It was a little bit of like, they were in awe, but it was also like, whoa, this is, like, I do not want to mess with this guy. And I feel bad for this guy, too.
Yeah, no, but they nailed
It's
it.
all of those elements, yeah.
I love that.
Elements.
Elements! Wow, that's
The word for
yeah, pun intended, obviously.
You totally nailed that.
Yeah.
You got that right. Now, Isabella, you're coming off The Last of Us, which is so good, but you all are used to big things with big fandom. So how do you approach fan expectations? Do you lean into it? Do you kind of block it at the time?
I don't know. I actually have no idea. I try to sign all the posters, even if I know they're gonna resell them. I try to be generous, because for me, I think the biggest fan base that means the most to me are the kids that go watch the stuff that I'm in. Like, they're the most loyal, they're the most excited. I love their little outfits that they put on, and I love receiving pictures at Halloween of kids dressed up as the characters that I was lucky to portray, and that's the coolest part. As long as the kids approve, I'm happy.
And I think as a kid, like, you see that for the first time and you never forget that. Like, I will never forget seeing Adam West as Batman on TV growing up. Like, that's just so iconic and in my head.
I went to Universal Studios when I was a kid, and I did the E.T. ride, where they asked me to come on stage, and they put me on the E.T. bike in front of the audience, and I told all my friends at school that I was in E.T. I was Elliot. I thought I was. I thought I was in the movie E.T.
Magic. That's that magic.
I'm curious to describe James Gunn as a director and collaborator. Anthony, why don't you start that?
It's a testament to James that he runs his set like he runs such a tight ship, and yet he just makes it so much fun, right? It's like everything is moving along smoothly, and he chooses all the right people, right? So all of these elements, God, elements again, are just kind of like aligning because he has such, he chooses the right people to work with. And so it feels like a family, right? It feels like just the vibe is right.
Yeah. What do you have?
There are people that have worked with him for so long on that set, and because of that, I think that plays into the tight ship sort of thing, because then they know what James likes and what he doesn't like. And I find that when you work with people who are this talented, it's almost as if their talent, all of their energy goes into their talent, so the rest of them is quite childlike and hasn't had a chance to develop as strongly as their talent. So like it just really felt as though we were playing, and it was so nice and refreshing, because naturally you're gonna be intimidated on a set like this. Anybody would be.
Well, you feel that kind of connection on screen. How do you think we can tap into our own inner Superman in everyday life?
Well, I think there's a, misconception about Superman that even though he has all of these incredible powers, that he still doesn't feel fear, that he isn't plagued by all the same things that humans are plagued by. So I think that, in each of ourselves, it's going to be difficult, but that shouldn't stop you from doing the right thing or being brave or, trying to be a good person.
Try to be a good person. That's the perfect way to end this. I got the wrap. Thank you very much for the time today. I appreciate it. I hope everyone enjoys the movie, so thank you. Paul, McGuire, Grimes, A, B, C, Minneapolis, Maria, Sarah, it's really great talking to both of you. I really enjoyed the movie. It's so good, and you both nail it, so thank you for the time today.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now tell me about getting the call that you were going to be cast in Superman. What goes through your head? Who do you tell first?
Well, I don't know your story.
You don't know my story?
No.
Well, okay. How much time was it? No, okay. Well, I did my self-tape, and then I didn't hear anything for a while, and then I had a chemistry read, and this was like on a Monday, and then I remember feeling really good, but then I got out of the room, and there was like someone way more
I know your
experienced than
story.
me, and I'm
Oh,
like,
yes.
oh, okay, well, I'm not gonna get this now.
She's gonna get it.
She's gonna get it.
I get
and
it.
then, but I still have that feeling inside. I'm like, but I still feel like it's mine, you know? And then the next day, I had to fly to New York for a shoot, and I was shooting, and they called me, and
that was fast.
my manager called me, and then I got a text from James.
No.
Yeah, and then we went into strike.
Right.
And I had to keep it.
I got the job. I auditioned. My last test was the day before the strike. So I did that, and then they were like, listen, this is great, but we're gonna take a month to decide. I'm not kidding you. And they made me, they gave me the script, they made me sign the contract, all of it, and then they had me waiting a month. And when they hired me, the strike was still on, so I couldn't talk to anybody, nobody could talk to me, and I kept thinking, is this real? Because I can't talk to anybody from the movie, so I don't know if my agent, did he get it right? I talked to the trainer, and the trainer, I did ask him, like, so it is me. And he's like, what? Yes, come to the gym.
Yes, come to the gym. What were you doing?
When the strike was over, the day was over, James texted me, and I'm like, oh, yes, it is real.
It
oh
is
my
real.
God.
Imagine if it was like, sorry, we went with someone else.
I'm sorry,
we
we changed our mind. You're right.
I think that costume design and hair and makeup is so important for any actor, and you both have very specific looks in the film. So how does that, putting that costume on for the first time, inform your choices as the actor moving forward?
For me, the suit was really stiff. It was all leather, and it was really hard to move with it, to do anything, and I had to fight a lot. And that really helped me because I already wanted engineer to have this kind of robotic way of walking and using her body. And that really helped me. And like all of the acting teachers tell you, just use the disadvantage in your favor. So that's what I did. Whenever I got frustrated with the suit, whenever it was too tight or too hot, I would just use it. So I love my suit, and I love, the shape. They shaved my head, and that was intense. So I didn't feel like myself at all. Yeah. It really helped.
I mean, I went blonde.
Yeah.
And it was like my first time ever dyeing my hair, and Throughout my whole career, I've had so many opportunities to go blonde, and I kind of always said no. And I'll be like, you even offered me a lot of money, or like for a movie. And obviously, my first big movie, you're like, we want you blonde. But in a way, it really helped the character because I'm very different from Eve. So being blonde really helped me get into her mindset. And even like seeing it now, it's like I can almost have a separation because it doesn't really feel like me. But I do gotta say, I had a little identity crisis for like 7 months that I was blonde.
Right.
The first 2 weeks, I kept looking in the mirror and be like, who's that?
But me too. I felt like I'm such a like girly.
Yeah.
And when I looked at myself, I'm like, oh, okay, yes, it's for the job.
I kind of love that forced behavior change
Yeah.
and using what you have to your advantage as an actor, like being
Absolutely.
present
Yeah, of
and like
course.
what is the costume doing to me this day? Okay, here's where we're going today.
Yeah, I mean, but hair, makeup, and a costume, like, can really just, even the way it changes the way you move, the way you, like, it's everything. Even like for auditions, and you're like, I like to put. Wardrobe for me is very important. It gets me into the character like this. It just, and obviously Eve has like the best
outfits, yeah.
But as soon as, like, when me and Juliana, our costume designer, worked, because we had so many changes, and it was just the most fun fitting. We were just like, because everything was just so extra, and we were like,
Fashion show.
it's pretty, really, but it was really fun.
I love that. How do you think we can tap into our own inner Superman in our everyday life?
You know, I feel like this movie speaks to it really well, and I think even the marketing team, you know, like partnering with an animal shelter and a foundation that rescues pets, and just urging people to not buy pets but like to adopt them and save a life. I think even just that tells you everything about how you can change the world with those daily small actions that are not small at all.
And just always come from a place of kindness and hope. And, you know, there's so much going on in the world right now that even if we can't change the world, we can do little actions in our community to really change. Even if you're changing someone's life, or a dog's life, or a cat's life, I think that's putting goodness out there.
I love that. It's a perfect way to end this. Thank you for the time tonight. I hope people enjoy the movie as much as I do.
So much.
Thank you.
Thank you.